Hello there, welcome to Team Overloaded. Today we are back in town with Football Manager Editor. We're going to be looking at how to add a new club and city. For this, we're going to be adding Alnwick Town. So this isn't too difficult process. The first part is adding the city. We're going to call it Alnwick because that's what it's called. When it comes to nation, you need to select the relevant nation. In this case, Alnwick, last time I checked, was in England. So it goes in England. You don't have to set a language. You should only really do that if it's a country with multiple languages. Really, England doesn't have multiple languages spoken natively, at least not in the north. In terms of the local region, though, you do need to set this. And we'll go for northeast. Because, you know, it's in the northeast. Now, in terms of attraction, you have to work out how attractive Alnwick is for people. Now, this varies. I think the lowest it can be is, the likes of Scunthorpe is about a 5. And then that goes all the way up to the likes of London, which are 20. Now, Alnwick is quite a nice place to live. Not that I live there. So I reckon it would have about an 8. Or maybe 11, actually. Let's be generous. Now, in terms of population, you should set this as accurate as possible. I believe this determines support and how many youth players you get coming from this place. The coordinates you can look up. In Alnwick's case, it's 55.413 and minus 1.707 according to Wikipedia. And the altitude, well, I'm going to say it's 0. Because, you know, it's pretty close to the coast. In weather, you can set whatever weather you want. I'm going to be going for England, not England, it's English Northern. As you can see, well, changes you don't really need, but that's what's happened to it. And now, it's Alnwick's in the game. So let's quickly go into clubs and let's create Alnwick. For the name, well, it's got to be the actual name of the team, which is Alnwick Town FC. But we'll just call them Alnwick Town. For the short name, Alnwick. It's a 6-letter name, Alnwick. For their nickname, I don't know if they have a nickname. I'm actually looking them up now. No, they don't have any name. Any nickname. I'll just call them the Almas. So why not? They don't need a second nickname. For nation, base nation and continental cup nation, they should be the same. Unless you're having some kind of quality with Wales in England, or that kind of thing, then you'll need to change the base region. Local region is set automatically in city. In terms of year founded, on their Wikipedia page now, it's 1879. They're a semi-professional side, they're probably actually amateur. Now, morale and reputation, you have to bear in mind I'm setting this up as though they're a Conference North team, and I'm going to show you how to add them to the Conference North, which isn't very difficult. It's much like you have to do for Forest Green. So I'm going to have a morale of, well, they've just been promoted to the Conference North there, overjoyed. Reputation, 1500 would be a low-level Conference North team, or a good regional Premier League team. Now we're going to look at ownership. This doesn't really matter. You can change the chairman title if you want it to be called the general manager. I will, because I just think it sounds cool. As you can see, there's all kinds of ownership, but you don't really need to worry about that. In the stadium, we're going to look at this in a future tutorial. Well, the next one, in fact. Don't worry about finances. You can set however you want. I'm going to give them £500,000. to make it a little easier for them as they go up the leagues. They're not going to be in a transfer embargo. Match ticket price will say £7. The season ticket will be £75, and they'll have 50 season ticket holders. Why not? Other income. Let's give them a couple of other incomes. Let's say they'll have a kit sponsor and a stadium sponsor. I think that's fair enough. Right, they're not that rich, and we'll give them 100. We won't give them £100. That's a bit too little. 100,000 for each. And for all we know, they're going to turn into a loaded team, and they're going to end up getting promoted. But you know, just to take the rough with the smooth, I suppose. They all began on the 1st of January 2010. And they all end on the 1st of January 2020. And let's not let Football Manager clash. That will be nowadays, because that would be bad. And for both of them, the income will be renewed. They won't have any of that, any debts, player buyback clauses, any other clauses. A lot of this is just real detailed stuff. We will set up regional divisions. Regional divisions are buggy, to say the least. They don't always work the way. They'll end up saying things like Belgian Pro League is the 8th to English football when it's clearly not. So you just need to specify. So in Alnwick's case, it's far north. So of course it'll be Conference North. 7th tier, it'll be Northern Premier. These are all in the database. You can probably look them up, to be honest. Look up where each division's hinterland is, so you can find names yourself. I mean, if you create a lower league database, you can actually activate them. In fact, in a future tutorial, I will show you how to activate a lower league. What you do? Right. Well, they will never get relegated to the 9th tier. So actually, we don't need to worry about 9th tier. Right, it's not a serious issue. Let's just have them play no league. Tactical attributes, supporter profile, contact types. I'll just sort of I guess sort of their accessory information. You don't desperately need them. You can change them when you want. In fact, I will between this and recording. This is where it really matters. Home kit, away kit. They don't have a third kit by default. Now, Alnwick play in. Let's see. Just checking what colour Alnwick play in on my trusty little phone here. It doesn't charge up at all. It always just charges down. And they're white. They're playing white. So we're gonna go for white. And so we'll have black numbers. Icon colour you can change. I will do that for you. And white. For the text colour, the text colour is the most important one to change, because if it's a custom team, this will determine the logo in the game. And yeah, I'll just change the shorts to black, and the socks can stay blue. As for the away kit, it doesn't really matter what you change it to. It won't really make a difference. I'm going to have them playing green and black stripes when away from home. I genuinely think that's one of the coolest, I guess, logos. Sort of like an inverted Celtic, like evil Celtic, I guess. In fact, this actually is full of screens. Actual kit. Staff and players, you can add if you want. However, these will get generated. I'll show you how to do that in game in a bit later on. As you can see, all of these you can set however you want. You can set a rival club. We're going to set 2. Berwick, because they're just over the border. And then also Gateshead, Blythe Spartans as well. Because they'll play in the same league. Or they could play in the same league as Blythe Spartans. And you can set a reason if you want. I don't think there's any need to. I'm going to set a reason for all 3. So I'm going to say that Berwick is local, Gateshead is historic, and Blythe is competitive. I'm going to change Gateshead to 70 and Blythe to 40 or 35, because then the display is different. You can add favoured personnel and I guess hated personnel if you want to have, and of course club legends. I'm going to have a legend called Kevin Legend, and he will be level 100 because reasons won't specify. Last of all is your affiliations and your league history. You don't have to set this, but it'll generate a really nice graph for you if you do, so I would recommend it. But I'm gonna do one because why not? And let's have them go Northern League Division 1, Northern Premier League Division 1 North, 2 seasons in the Northern Premier League Premier, and they'll win Northern League 1, win Northern Premier, win, or they'll finish 10th, and then they'll win. And I'll show you that in game because it does look really, really swell. You can set records if you want. I'm not going to. So there's a couple of things we have to do to make Alnwick complete. The first is to add the conference north, and do this just the same way as we added Forest, as we moved Forest Green up the leagues. Sort by reputation, we're not going to pick the lowest one, which ironically is called lower stuff. We're going to pick North thoroughly because I can't stand them as a team. Because, well, they're going to end up countries, so the biggest rivals if things continue the way they're going. And let's swap it out for Alnwick. Alnwick Town. Ooh, as you can see, there's 2 Alnwick Towns. So that wasn't particularly good. And as you can see, I'll maybe set their reputation a bit too low, but if you look at their balance, their quids in. Only Barrow are richer than they are. And they'll probably give most of that as transfer budget, so you're going to end up in a pretty good situation if you're playing as Alnwick. You will be predicted to finish last, but, you know, you have to take the rough with the smooth. I'm now going to save the editor. It is Alnwick Town in Conference North, and then I'm going to head right into game and show you how it works in there. If you look in the Conference North, you'll find a bit of a surprise. North Thurby no longer exist. Instead, Alnwick. As you can see, Alnwick, we've got our meteoric rise. Now if we go into them as a manager, let's see, you can see that you'll get personal message from Martin Freeman. That's like some sort of, I don't know, I'm a bit surprised. That Martin Freeman has taken over Alnwick, but who knew, eh? I'll definitely have to put him in the video, you know. Martin Freeman, what's he doing here? He even looks a little bit like the real Martin Freeman. Yeah. It's just funny. Alnwick Town was a club with a lot of history. I just added them. And you can set whatever you know, whatever objectives you want. I'm just literally going through that so I can show you how much money you can expect to have if you create them in that way. As you can see, it's not unsubstantial transfer budget, especially if you try and if you're quite ambitious. You are only spending like 2,000 on wages, so really, you've got every chance at maybe staying up. So yeah, that's how to add a team. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to add a stadium for Alnwick. It'll be a bit shorter than this. I know this one's overrun a little, it's a bit too long. And then after that, I'll probably create a manager. I wouldn't have them to Alnwick though. Alright, see ya.